And hello to all my friends. I'd like to welcome you to your Quadrants video 2024. So this is divination for an entire year. We're going to be looking through different topics, subjects, and themes to see when is the best time for you to plan and prepare things for your year. This is the only divination that I do for a year out at a time. So what is a quadrant? Well, a quadrant is a piece of the pie of the year. The little graphic illustration I have on your screen is probably the best visual I can give you. It's pretty self-explanatory. Quadrant 1 is going to be talking about January, February, and March. Quadrant 2 is going to be talking about April, May, and June. Quadrant 3, July, August, and September. And then Quadrant 4 will be wrapping up with October, November, and December. Which quadrant has what in store for you? Well, we're about to find out. This is the best tool available for you to plan and prepare. Today, this is being done as a general reading for your entire sign, but if you're looking for messages that are personal, private, and specific only to you, I do offer quadrants as a personal audio product on the website scottsagent.com, available January only. I've found that the best way to utilize quadrants is to watch the entire thing at the beginning of the year, and then after the first quadrant ends, March going into April, I come back, watch quadrants again, look at what happened in one, and reflect back on it because you just lived it. And then look ahead to what quadrant 2 is so it's fresh in your mind. And then do the same thing at the end of 2 going into 3. I'll come up and do a little fresh reminder again on that. And then same thing at the end of 3 going into 4. See how 3 just played out. See what's coming in 4. That's the best way so you can plan and prepare so it's fresh in your mind. All of the card work has already been done. I've taken a bunch of notes for every single quadrant for you. So let's get started. Okay, here we go. It is Virgo Quadrants 2024 time, and here we go. Quadrant 1, January, February, and March. Let's look into it. The theme, first of all, talks about mental decision and paths contemplated. So there's a lot of this going on, Virgos. We alluded to this in your January reading. I forget which part of it was, but I remember it coming up specifically because I remember writing it down in the quadrants. And I remember telling you guys, you're going to want to check out the quadrant video because of this connection here. So that is really it. A lot of Virgos are doing a lot of thinking, a lot of contemplating and planning early in the year. January, February, March is almost like a get it ready for the rest of the year type of plan. It is a much quieter quadrant too than the other 3. So let's talk about the things that they do give us clues about though. We have a love ping coming in here that talks about action in the love corner. So what is that? It's a step. And the step is determined by kind of where you're at. So if you're single, a step could be, meeting somebody, hanging out with somebody, going on a date. If you're already dating somebody, it could be, getting more serious, becoming official, moving in together. Depends really where you're at. And then, of course, if you're in a coupled up relationship, you're married, something like that, a love action could be like you're going to do something together, maybe a fun date, maybe you're making a big move for the family or something like that. So anyway, action is generally looked at as a good thing. The next ping we have here is for busy and productive. They show Virgos to be busy and productive, but on a close by level. And I wrote down the word local. So it makes me feel like nearby home or nearby your vicinity. So they don't want you being busy and productive going, I don't know if it's like traveling far or if it's like basically working on like far-reaching things. Like work on the stuff that is nearby, close to you and easy to get busy with. Vacation relaxation pinged here as an unexpected event. An event is something that kind of is out of the ordinary, but usually very positive. It's something like, a wedding that you didn't really expect to get invited to. It just surprised you out of the blue, or maybe a friend of yours that you haven't seen in a while reaches out and says, hey, you want to get together? Let's go get some food. Let's go grab lunch. And an event is just something out of the ordinary. So they bring that up as a way for you guys to take a little time out here, a little relaxation here in the first 3 months. So that's very interesting. That pretty much wraps up. That's it for quadrant 1. Like I said, a very quiet quadrant. As we get into quadrant 2, guys, now we're moving into April, May, and June. Things get a lot more busy as far as the chatter goes. The theme is correcting injustices. Okay, that's a big one. This is going to be, in a lot of ways, the most important quadrant for Virgos because here you're fixing errors. You're also probably fixing karma, and all kinds of things are coming back. Okay, the way that you've put it out there. This is where you got to do the work, though, to see it through the finish line in a big way. Let's talk about the pings. We have a big one coming up for work. This is the first time Virgo pings big for work, and it shows teaching, learning, a lot of choices. A lot of choices. This is going to be, there's going to be no fate involved here. There's going to be no momentum of any like destiny or anything like that. Work here in this quadrant is going to be purely about your choices. Okay, so anything that whether it's good or bad, just remember that this is all based on your choices. It puts the power back to you when it's all choices and it's less about what's going on, because basically you're filling in the details of your life. You're not working on an outline. You're not looking at, Spirit is basically taking a back seat and saying, hey, you're okay right now. You drive for a little while. You figure this out. So that's what we show here for work. Okay, so we get into a love ping here in Q2, which talks about new love, but possibly a weakness. This is something that may not be the best version of love for you if you're single. If you're coupled up, this may mean something that you struggle with, or you have some like new love for a situation that's going on, a circumstance, or the family's doing really good, or whatever it is here. But there's something here that there's some piece off on the side that you're struggling with. Okay, so it's an internal struggle, and that could be so many different things for so many different people, and that's really why you need a personal reading for this, because this is where the bubble energy of Virgo kind of takes over, and it's really hard to get specifics. We get a ping though here, a big one from finance here. This is the first Virgo big ping for finance, and they talk about not being comfortable between the two. This is a little bit vague as well, but they're letting us know how important this is. The financial sector in Q2 is going to be huge. And they show that like your finances are not comfortable between the two. So are they talking about two people? Are they talking about between the two, like between this place and that place? I'm not sure the context. That is where you really need to kind of make it make sense to you. But they say that there's not comfy. So something is not comfortable, at least financially. So I don't know if that means like you've been spending too much on this one thing. Maybe you don't want to be spending money on it, or you're trying to pay off this bill, and it's between here and there. And anyway, they say between the two. We have a pretty big ping here for go for it and take risks. First time Virgo talks about that too. They talk about risks and the stagnation. They want you to lead, which means step up. Step up and end the stagnation, end the routine. We got to kind of like put it to bed. Whatever this is that they're referring to, it's a pretty big deal. So they want you to go for it and take risks in Q2. Now, they do say conservative and playing it safe also comes up. So there's moments for both. I don't want it to make it sound like, Q2, you only got to take risks and you only got to go for it. That's not the case, because but thankfully, they were specific enough to let us know which is which, because the conservative and safe here talks about taking care of yourself. Okay, that's when they want you to kind of play it a little safe. In conservative is if you're being selfish or you're taking care of yourself here, that's where you want to play it safe. If it's more about everybody else, then it's okay to take risks, more of a group energy going on there. And they also talk about cleaning out gunk. So it's like getting rid of the parts of your life that you don't want there anymore. That's the kind of stuff you want to play a little safe, a little softer with. Maybe something like getting rid of a bad habit or something like that. You want to play that pretty safe there. So there you go with correcting injustices, and you can see the difference between risks and safe there. Hopefully I gave you enough to work with. Let's move into Quadrant 3. Quadrant 3, the theme is small problems only. Well, thank goodness. Small problems are almost a prayer being answered for a lot of Virgos at this point, because there have been some complicated things that come up. Of course, not the entire 6 months, but there are challenges you can see, little bits and pieces here and there. So small problems only. Well, that sounds like a pretty good quadrant to me. Good start. Let's see what the details are. We have a big heart ping here. This is the most major heart ping you have all year. Major decision made. They bring in clairvoyance. So just the veil being very thin between the guidance. Very good. Major decision being made. If this is a good time to remind you too why you need to come back and view these readings again, because at the beginning of Quadrant 3 here, July, August, September, you might not, like right now, if you're viewing this reading like most people are early in the year, you're not going to know what this major decision is, more than likely. Some of you might, but the rest of you have no idea what this major decision is that you're going to make in the second half of the year is yet, until you get there. So you got to be reminded of it to really you're going to probably make that decision either way, but it just helps you, with advice. And the advice is the clairvoyance, how the veil being very thin, and the help being there for you. We have a big ping for finance here. Second quadrant in a row, that's a big ping. They talk about understanding And the information comes later, but the understanding is going to be there. The thoughts are going to be there. There's a lot going on kind of in your head there financially in Q3. So it's very interesting how they worded that, but there's going to be understanding there, and they're going to provide the information, I guess, when you're ready for it. It'll make more sense when we get there. Health. First time we talk about health for Virgo. Big ping in Q3. They talk about complete lifestyle. So this is like a lifestyle change for a lot of Virgos. Big moves for health coming up here in Q3 as well. Nice opportunity for it. Probably the best. Vacation, relaxation. We have a ping here. Tunnel vision, they say. So really focus on one thing. One destination or one trip. Something like that. One way to relax. That is the move. They talk about transport here, so it's either like, you're getting there by car, you're getting there by airplane, railway, subway. And tunnel vision just means to focus on it. Focus on it. Don't worry about anything else. This is the one way to go. Small problems only. That concludes Quadrant 3. Quadrant 4, guys, as we get into Quadrant 4, this is to wrap up the year. October, November, and December, the theme is new work, delay. So not everybody's going to have new work at the end of the year, but there may be some form of work delay happening for a lot of Virgos in different ways, because the work ping that came in on top of that theme was really dug in and committed. A lot of Virgos are really kind of get in it to win it here. Late in the year, they're kind of like all about it. Some of them are maybe constricted into their work, really kind of stuck in a certain way. It is definitely not a time to be leaving a job. Let's put it that way. So these last 3 months are very dug in. Okay. Next thing we talk about is a financial ping for challenges. Okay. End of the year, bring some money challenges. It doesn't say that it's going to be a bad thing. It's just says challenges. The health ping we have for Quadrant 4 talks about inventory. Taking inventory, healing anything that's unbalanced, and quick breaks. Quick breaks. So it makes me feel like a quick break to me coming up for health is like when you take you're on a diet and you have like a cheat day. Maybe it turns into, especially since we're talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas season here, maybe it turns into a cheat month or more, something like that. So anyway, taking inventory and healing whatever is unbalanced might have nothing to do with diet for you, but they want you to consider whatever you need to fix and then fix it during this quadrant. You obviously can do that. Busy and productive. They talk about being a one-way road. So there's really one thing you need to get busy on late in the year. Just one. Go forward risks. They say with others, not by yourself. So if you're taking risks, that is really for the group, maybe the family, or with others. If you're dealing with yourself, not so much. Now, conservative and safe, they say it's kind of a weird phase ending. So they want you to be patient. So that's why they're saying, not really to rush anything, especially if it's you. If you're dealing with just something for yourself only, that's just not it. And it is because of this weird phase. So if you read between the lines, there's going to be some weird, mysterious stuff going on late in the year for a lot of my Virgos. Okay? And you're going to work through it just fine. And hopefully we've talked about enough tools to be able to allow you to do just that. So there you go. There's the quadrants, all 4 of them for Virgos. You can see how this information is very important. It helps us make the best decisions possible. It helps us align different things into our year. So we just help things go a little bit smoother, and we can be aware of certain things that we need to be cautious about too. So that is why I hope you all spoil yourselves with a quadrants personal private reading. It is available on the website scottsagent.com for January only. I hope you all have an excellent 2024. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.